General Flagg, you found yourself in the middle of an international incident.
Oh, princess.
The United States is in the business of saving the damn world by any means necessary.
What in the holy hell?
Congress said we can't use human prisoners. These assholes aren't human.
Do you understand me now?
Who is she?
We call her the Bride.
I was born here.
Who's Jason and the Argonauts?
That's Dr. Phosphorus.
Why are you doing this?
It's business.
Sometimes I feel a little mad.
What is that thing?
The Weasel. We know it has what it takes to survive. That's Nina Mazursky.
Daddy?
Last one is G.I. Robot.
Cheers to the Tin Man.
I know you all aren't exactly enthusiastic about this mission.
I didn't realize I had a choice.
You said you wanted me to be a hero.
Not like that.
With a joy that's hard to hide.
Until we find out the truth of what's going on here. We're supposed to be on the same damn team.
G.I.
Friend Nina!
You're bound to see my other side.
Shish kebab.
I'm just a soul whose intentions are good.
You're always so hyperbolically violent. You need therapy.
Hold on, please don't let me. Hold on, please don't let me. Please don't let me. Please don't let me.
You wanted monsters.
Don't let me.
You got monsters.
Don't let me. Hold on, please don't let me be misunderstood. Die, Nazi.
He's not a Nazi, G.I.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This will be my Creature Commandos trailer. James Gunn just released it in New York Comic Con. It's going to be the first big series as part of his DCU Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. As you can see, lots of actual monsters showing up during this that will also show up in the live-action movies too, particularly the new Superman movie. I'll explain which characters we already know about are showing up in that live-action Superman movie and other live-action movies that they'll be doing the next couple of years. Cersei is probably the connection to the gods part of the Gods and Monsters title. She's not an actual god, but most people remember her from the Wonder Woman comics. She's a big Wonder Woman villain. She's an immortal witch. So really more of a magic-based character. As you can see, it goes super hard. It's meant to be TVMA. It's going to be happening later this year. I'll do episode videos when it starts. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all those episodes. The way that James Gunn described it, he said it's a little bit like Guardians of the Galaxy, but with the sentimentality toned down, like the cast of misfits that come together become a family. He said the characters aren't morally perfect, the stories aren't meant to be perfect, like their backstories aren't meant to be perfect. There'll be a lot of characters dying during the series, sometimes for very tragic circumstances. It's meant to be a very dark story in many ways. But he says he hopes in an equally invigorating one, setting up that brand new Superman movie and Peacemaker Season 2 and a couple other things. Those are just like the next big things that we know that this is directly connected to because some of these characters will show up in live action really soon right after this. And as you could tell, a lot of the voices sound familiar. We've already actually seen them in some of the live-action DCU movie footage and Peacemaker Season 2 footage. The other easy comp to make with them is to like a monster version of the Suicide Squad because they literally call them Task Force M instead of Task Force X. During the trailer, we see Amanda Waller and Rick Flag Sr. literally going to like a different part of Bel Rev where they're just cordoned off to. The whole basis for them coming together during the series is the fact that Amanda Waller says because of what happened during Peacemaker Season 1 in the previous Suicide Squad movie, she's not allowed to use humans to deal with this problem anymore because Congress thought that she was violating too many rights. Part of the idea is that of all Suicide Squad adjacent stories, Amanda Waller typically winds up being an even bigger villain than whichever villain they're put together to actually stop. So kind of expecting the same idea during the course of this. Like the team comes together, they're a bunch of dirtbags, they stop Cersei from doing whatever it is she's trying to doing here. It seems like it's a very magic-based plot, but Amanda Waller becomes an even bigger antagonist while that's happening. There are meant to be 7 episodes total. I don't know why there's not an even 8. We'll find out, I guess. Rick Flagg Sr. is being played by Frank Grillo. You probably recognize his voice. He's one of the major crossover characters too, because he's also appearing in that live-action new David Corenswet Superman movie. This is footage of him literally arresting Superman. I mean, Superman's allowing himself to be arrested. You don't arrest Superman. Little bit of Henry Cavill's Superman energy from the Man of Steel movie where he turned himself in and allowed himself to be put in cuffs. But in this new scene from the Superman movie, you can see the engineer from the Authority comics with Rick Flagg live action in what looks like the evil clone of Superman in the suit with the U on it that everyone's just calling Ultraman because of the U. If for whatever reason Superman has allowed himself to be captured by them. There's been a lot of talk about what's going on with this Ultraman evil version of Superman, like an evil clone of Superman. Lex Luthor is meant to create him during the movie, and it looks like his suit draws inspiration from a bunch of comic book sources like comic book Doomsday's goggles and the suit that he starts out in before he eventually breaks out. And in the context of the movie, his backstory plays out a little bit more like the original version of Bizarro Superman, who started out originally as a clone of Superman created by Lex Luthor. They've kind of been doing a similar twist with Bizarro in the new Superman and Lois live-action TV series where he becomes the version of Doomsday over time created by Lex Luthor. But the idea in the new Superman movie is that David Corenswet's regular Superman will have to stop this evil Superman clone that just completely goes off the rails, it sounds like. They actually did an animated Superman movie that dealt with some of this plot too, with Lex Luthor creating a whole bunch of Superman clones that go dark. You recognize Amanda Waller, that's Viola Davis, coming back to play her again from the Suicide Squad movie and Peacemaker Season 1. Stephen Agee is also coming back as his John Economos during this from Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. A lot of Peacemaker crossover because some of this will set up Peacemaker Season 2. For instance, Frank Grillo's Rick Flagg Sr., I believe, is meant to show up during Peacemaker Season 2, coming for Peacemaker because he wants revenge for him killing his son, Rick Flagg Jr., during the events of the Suicide Squad movie. So some of the DCU stuff will continue to be canon inside James Gunn's DCU. The way that James Gunn clarified that, he said there's no hard and fast rule. He said that at some points during the new series and the upcoming live-action movies, they'll reference things that happen during DCU movies. So when that happens, that will canonize certain things from the DCEU to the DCU. He didn't really get too far into specifics, but like you have Amanda Waller coming back as her version of the character. For instance, some of the Peacemaker characters coming back for Peacemaker Season 2, some of the other Suicide Squad characters. So like already you can kind of see that some of that stuff will continue to be canon. Indira Varma, who you probably recognize from a billion different things, is the bride of Frankenstein. Her backstory in the DCU is somewhat similar to her backstory from the classic movies and the books with the DC spin on it. David Harbour, Red Guardian from the MCU, is playing Frankenstein's monster. No idea when the two of them will show up in live action. David Harbour was talking about it too, like he hopes that he shows up in the live action DCU movies at some point. It'd be one of those situations where he's under a ton of makeup, so like you don't see him as David Harbour like you see Red Guardian and you instantly recognize David Harbour. Alan Tudyk, that shows up during all of James Gunn's stuff all over the place, not just the MCU stuff, but also his other movies too, is playing Dr. Phosphorus, who's a Batman villain. Alan Tudyk will also be coming back in live action during the David Corenswet Superman movie, but they didn't say if he's going to be coming back in that as Dr. Phosphorus in live action, or if he'll be a completely different character, just because he plays so many different characters across all James Gunn's movies. As you can see, his powers are pretty self-explanatory. He has radioactive powers after being exposed or betrayed by Rupert Thorne, another big Batman villain who's part of this series. His body chemistry was fundamentally altered to have phosphorus skin that would burn permanently in eternal flame. After his accident, he's bent on revenge against Thorne for what happened to him, so that's where he becomes a villain and gets locked up in Bel Rev. Originally, he was a normal scientist that wanted to build a nuclear power plant in the old classic Batman comics. They'll probably change that a little bit for this backstory here, like it's a little bit more modern. But it sounds like at some point during this series, he's betrayed by Rupert Thorne that tries to kill him using his own technology, and that's how he gets his powers. Anya Chalotra, who plays Yennefer on the Witcher Netflix series, is playing Cersei, Wonder Woman villain. Everybody remembers Cersei somewhere from the comics or the animated movies. She's supposed to be the actual main villain of this show, if you're not considering Amanda Waller the main villain. Not totally clear what she's actually doing during the series that's so dangerous, probably some magic-based plot, but it has something to do with Alana Rostovic here, who's being played by Maria Bakalova, who you probably remember is Cosmo the Space Dog from the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 movie. James Gunn also said that Maria Bakalova was the first character that he ever cast in the DCU canonically, like way before David Corenswet was cast as Superman or any of those live-action Superman characters. Sean Gunn, who plays Kraglin in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, is doing G.I. Robot. He was a sentient robot created back during World War II by Dr. Mazursky, the father of Nina Mazursky here, or the creator of Nina Mazursky here, who's another team member. He was a sentient robot. They just refer to it as an automaton. His real name is the acronym Jake-1. That's why they have all the funny scenes in the trailers with him yelling about killing Nazis, because he's literally from World War II, where they killed a bunch of Nazis. Another big live-action Superman movie connection, too, to David Corenswet's version, but he's actually coming back in that movie as the live-action version of Maxwell Lord. It seems like he's actually funding his own team of superheroes, featuring Mr. Terrific, Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and Hawkgirl, because all their suits look the same, and they have Lord Tech company symbols on his logo. The early theory is that they're meant to be a reference to the Justice League International team that Maxwell Lord ran in the comics, and Sean Gunn's Maxwell Lord will be more like that classic comic book version. Nina Mazursky is exactly what you think. She's also referred to as a mermaid in the DCU. She underwent a transformation just allowing her to be more amphibious and walk around on land. On the series, they're making her look a little bit more like Abe Sapien with the helmet that just allows her to breathe on land. And as you can see, Weasel is also back. Sean Gunn played him during the Suicide Squad movie, and he kind of ran off into the distance like he survived the end of the Suicide Squad movie. Maybe he's doing double duty again during the series and also playing him, but he mostly makes noises like Weasel doesn't talk like a person. I also love the theory here, based on this trailer footage, that Weasel was framed for killing those little kids, and he actually tried to save them from this animal here. There's a bunch of other characters that you probably spotted throughout the trailer, like Clayface from the Batman comics, also here too. So Clayface is going to show up in live action, the DCU eventually. There are a bunch of other familiar faces from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, other Marvel movies in general, people that James Gunn tends to work with on the regular, like a lot of his friends from other movies. Linda Cardellini, who plays Hawkeye's wife in Mockingbird in the MCU, is playing a mystery character. We don't know who. Michael Rooker is also back from the Suicide Squad movie, and he was also in all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies as Yondu. Supposedly he's not playing the same character he played during the Suicide Squad movie. Peter Serafinowicz is also playing a mystery character. In the MCU, you probably remember him from the Nova Corps in Guardians of the Galaxy. James Gunn also said there'd be a bunch of other really big surprise characters and things that they're trying to keep secret during this. Maybe some bigger A-list Justice League level characters to help tie it more to the upcoming live-action movies. As you can see from the trailer, episodes start December 5th. I believe it's meant to be one per week. I don't know if they're starting with multiple episodes on the first day. We'll find out. There's a bunch of stuff going on here, so if there's any other Easter eggs that you spotted during the trailer that I didn't talk about during the video, write them below in the comments. James Gunn also said they would be releasing the first Superman trailer pretty soon, like not right away, but pretty soon. Whatever they wind up releasing, of course I will do all the videos for it, don't worry. We're also in the middle of all those Penguin Batman episodes. I'll post links for those down in the description below. It's been fire so far. And really big reminder, Venom: The Last Dance is coming out this week. My review will post on Wednesday. My post-credit scene video, all the Easter eggs, breakdown, full videos will post after it actually comes out later this week. So be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of that stuff. Click here for my new Venom: The Last Dance video, and click here for that brand new Superman movie footage of that evil version of Superman and all the other characters. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.